Hi guys, welcome to Savvy Money Show with me, your host Sean. I want to thank you for giving up your precious time to watch this video. And we're going to go over a year and how we've done this year, winners and losers. We've had a couple of losers, but we've had an impressive performance, smashing the market, and we have done incredibly well. I got incredibly lucky, I believe, because I went into areas of the market which have gone ahead of my expectations, and they've gone. I expected them to go up a couple of years quicker than I expected. Now, I'll be telling you about next year as well if we have time, so don't forget to hit that like button, comment in the box below, and subscribe if you haven't. Share with anyone you think is interested. I apologise for the background noise. I am outside, it is quite windy. I'm doing my morning walk and I do have a bit of a cold, but let's get into it. Now, my portfolio is up 67.2% year to date. And what do I attribute this to? Now, of course, the two main ones are IONQ, which we got in at $5 a share last year. A lot of people came out at $18 in January, but towards the end of last year it was $5. It did dip to $3 and I was called an idiot for that, but that was when I loaded the boat. And I did say when it went above 70 that I would be selling. Now, I did take my initial investment out when it hit 20, purely because that is a rule of mine, and to protect it, because it is a riskier investment. And because I was buying a house, if you remember, and I purchased a house with money I made on shares. The thing is, this is a quantum computing stock that everyone has gotten into now, and this is the thing about this channel. We get into stocks, and it may seem like we're holding stocks that are doing nothing, but we get into them a long time before anyone else. The thing about GameStop, everyone wished they got in at the perfect time, but no one did. Even Roaring Kitty was holding for a year before anything happened with it. And same with a Big Short. Some of his investors pulled out because nothing was happening and it was going in the wrong direction. With us, we're holding for a long time because we're spotting these opportunities and we're getting in before anyone else. So this was a big winner, and so was Rigetti. Now, we got in last year at $1.70, sorry, and it went up to $6 at the beginning of the year. And when it was trading sideways, I started trading sideways. I pulled my initial investment and then just kept house shares. Again, house shares had a double meaning for me this year, but it's a quantum computing. stock that's used by companies such as Ernst & Young. Prime Medicine. This year, if you remember, I did a video when it hit 125. I said load the boat. It went all the way up to $6. I sold at $6, which I said I was. I kept some house shares and was selling options on it. And the options I was selling, I was bringing in the same amount as I paid for the initial shares, which really makes me happy. And which means because I still have the shares. Now, of course, I'm just going over the main winners for us. We have Beam Therapeutics. Now, it was $15 a share. I said anything under 15, I'm loading the boat. Got all the way down to 13.5, and when it hit 30, I sold out of 90% of my position, keeping 10%. It came back down to 26. If it comes down to 20 or below, I will reinvest that money. No, because I still believe in it long term. No. And Telia as well got down to $6, and again I loaded the boat. And it's funny how the timing was just right, because I had Intelia and Prime, where I had gone to cash, a lot of cash, because I sold out quite a bit to justify the house. And then Intelia went to 18, but I did take initial investment out at 12, but then it went to 18 and I sold. I know it went over 20 and I was completely out of Intelia by the time it went above 20. When it came back down again to 9, I bought back in. But we had CRISPR, which came back down to 30. Now I started dripping in at 35, and when it came to 30, I really went hard, and it went back up 78. Of course, I didn't get to 78, I got to 60, but this already had the FDA approval. And now we had a lot of AI stocks. As I said, I sold out of a lot of my portfolio before the crash, which is where I got lucky. I sold out of it because of the because I needed to get the funds for the house and have proof of funds. And then once I bought the house, I found I had some cash left over, I had some money left over, and I was going to work because doing consultancy and that, and I bring in more money for the house, and I ended up with A-Lab at 45, and you can see it went all the way up to 280. Of course, I was out before 280 or 250, and I was banging the table on A-Lab, and there was plenty of other ones. You had GTLB, you had Taiwan Semiconductor, and Nvidia. If you remember my video, I sold Nvidia beginning of the year, and these companies have done better for us than holding Nvidia. It was a risky play, but it was one that worked out well. Now, Google. Now this is saying 142, but if you remember, Google last year was at 86. We held on to it, and at once, and I sold out. I've got very few shares at the moment. I've got hash shares because I sold out my initial investment, and I've just got hash shares. And I'm saying very few. I'm saying very few compared to what I had, because I had a massive. I had about 3,000, and the same with Amazon. It was at 86 we went in. I know it went lower for both of them, but we bought in, and it's at 220. I sold out my initial investment. We did have a few losers, such as a health REIT, which just, no matter what should have happened with them, it didn't work. A producer, SBSW. Now, we initially bought in at $8. It went all the way down to $3, where we was picking up more and more. Now this is a lithium miner and gold miner, and a metals miner as well. All metals miners. This should have been flying all year round, but instead it stayed at $3 for a long time, and then gold prices soared and it was lagging behind everyone. It eventually came up to $13.91. I consider this a loser, even though we made money, purely because of the time it took and the returns we had on it. Now, we did end up getting a return on it, but not enough for the time and money I invested into it. And I'm not counting it out, but there was these are the sort of ones that drag down the portfolio when the same amount invested in any of the other ones, or even our Palantir investment, which I am now out of, by the way, would have doubled our performance. And these sort of things happen, but at the same time, if these quantum computing stocks had gone to zero or gone sideways, then these gold mining producers, or if there'd been a stock market crash, these gold mining producers or these healthcare companies might have helped us out. Now, when Novo Nordisk crashed, I picked up that, and then it went up, and I sold it back again. I am looking at getting it back. Another one I'm looking at picking up, Oracle. Oh, because I think come down to a good level. If it comes down anymore, it looks like it's starting to go up, but if it comes down anymore, I will be picking it up. We have Gift Lab. Now, I did a video on that before. It's looking very attractive. It's not a high conviction stock like A-Lab, but it is one that I like. And A-Lab I've been picking up because it did have a crash on the back of an announcement, which I think on the back of an announcement by another company saying hardware won't do as well software, and well, that's pretty obvious. And I do think we need to keep an eye on these sort of companies, but I do think it is a good one. You are going to have this kind of volatility when something goes from 45 all the way up to 285, but is still a massive cash generator. It is still a good company, and it is still one to own, in my opinion. Now, I am going through plenty of companies. I am looking at ones which kind of makes sense. There's Legacy Education. I do like it. Its fundamentals are there. I do think it could do well, but I would like it to drop a bit further for me to pick it up. I would like to know what you guys think. I want to thank everyone who bought me a coffee, donated through Buy Me a Coffee, and who become a member of the channel. I have a free Discord. However, I do give out a daily watch list to anyone who's a member. It's £5 a month, and it's less than a cup of Starbucks. So with Starbucks and Costa closing down some of their shops, why not put that money towards a month's membership and see the value you get. You also have access to me, like talking to me, and I'll people in the Discord, even the free Discord, will tell you that's valuable, because you can ask me questions, reasons why I like certain companies. I do break down biotech as well, if that's your field. I have had people come to me suicidal, not just one but multiple, suicidal because they've gone to other big YouTubers who have expensive membership programs, and they've lost all their money because they've told them go into like Smile Direct Club and all this other stuff and these weed companies, just because they'll either go to the moon or go to zero, and we're not like that. That's why we make a Discord free, and I'm always on hand to chat to someone. If I can't, then I'll make an appointment with you to chat to someone. Now, let me know in the comments how you've done this year. I'll see you in the new year. I hope you've done well as well. I'll be happy to hear anyone who's done better than me, because I like to see people doing well. I don't consider myself the best investor by any way. I consider myself very lucky. I just consider myself diligent, looking at the fundamentals, the technicals, and the type of companies they are. Will there be a use for them? Not just in a year's time, in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And I'd be happy buying up more of this stock if it drops another 10-20%, and that is what I look into. I do a lot of research on it. So let me know if you have any questions, or if there's any videos you want me to look into.